going on YouTube? It's your boy Logisticalstyles. We're back in the studio, and this time we're gonna do a little something of a bit of exploration. I got the decks hooked back up. You know, the last video was me showing you how to rock with just the transport mode, but this time we got everything hooked up. We're just gonna explore the setup a little bit more. One thing I pride myself on is being able to know and tell you exactly what every button on my gear does, regardless of if I use it or not. And so every so often I like to just do a little surface dive over the equipment to make sure I have everything set the way I like to have it. And so I'm just gonna go through my workflow. I've got a shot of the mixer, the setup, so you can see what I'm touching, and then we can just talk about what I'm working on. One of the things I use a lot, I'm not gonna say it's my main thing, I use it a lot, but I use the onboard effects. I used to be a big user of the Serato effects built into the software, but once I got a Rane 70 with the hardware effects already built in, then I really pretty much stopped using the Serato effects, which is kind of weird because I have all the expansion packs, you know, the Wolf Pack, the Backpack, the Jet Pack, all those all those expansion packs, but I just don't use them. And we're gonna do some exploration of those in a little while, but not today. Today I'm just gonna talk about the onboard effects, and they're all located right here in the dead center of the mixer, of the activity of the mixer. You've got this section right here, and it's it's 6 of them that you have. These are your effects. They're called your flex effects. That's what Rane calls them, but they're just basically hardware effects. And then you can also hit this button to switch between your flex effects and your software effects. But I'd like to just deal with the hardware effects, and it's the basics. It's what you really need, what most DJs use. You got your echo, your reverb, the breaking feature, which is really cool. You can make it sound like the record just coming to a stop with the break, like from the Technics 1200 turntables. And then you have your flanger, your phaser, and your delay. The delay is a little bit like your echo, but it's still different enough that I think there should be 2 different buttons for them. I love the fact that these knobs, or these toggle paddles right here, these things are really solid. They feel way better than the ones that are on the Pioneer. They feel better than the ones that come with Newmark, Newmark Scratch. I just really love these paddles right here. They're wide, they're solid, they're not metal, but they're plastic just like the Pioneer ones are, but they just have a better feel to them. You have your depth knob, and you have one for each channel. I like the fact that you have independent controls over your effects for per channel. It's not like on some controllers where you just whatever you set it is what you get across the board, but you have independent control for your effects. You have the ability to adjust the timing of it. Like normally it would go by the BPM of the record that you're playing on each deck, but you can adjust that. You can go in and make some changes there. You can they have the joystick. This is a nice little control feature that they had on the original Rane 57 SL, and it's good to see that it's here as well. You can use this to change the beat parameters for your effects. In addition to that, you also have your filters, which have their own independent knobs, and they're up there with your high, mid, and low controls, and your gain. So you can also have a low pass filter, which will completely cut the lows, and then you have your high pass filter right there. So these are really cool controls that you have, and it's great for them to be all right there dead center in the mixer. So I really appreciate the way that they set up the effects control on the Rane 70. I really like the way that everything is simple. There's not a whole lot to go into. Now, if you wanted to get into the software effects, you can just hit this button right here in the middle, and then the one thing that's cool about the software effects, you get more options as far as what you want to be able to stack and add in and play or use in your mixes. So I think it's cool that it's there, but it's just not something I like to use. The software effects, if you compare like the echo, let's see if I can pull something up. We've got a scratch sound. Let's see. This is the echo from the hardware effect on the sound. Now let's switch over to software. Even if you change the depth, the hardware effects sound so much better. And that's just on the Echo. You have at least 5 other effects that you can compare it to, because these same 5 effects, the reverb, break, flanger, phaser, and delay, they're also software effects as well. But every time you compare the hardware effects to the software effects, hands down, it's just a better sound. You get a better end result. Not saying that the software effects are horrible, and like when I have a controller that only has these software effects, I'm able to use those because I know how to, like the Pioneer controllers, their software effects are pretty much laid out the same way. If you're looking at like a SR2 or SG3 or whatever, they all have the knobs across the top, and you can control your effects that way. And if you know how to control software effects and that's all you have, that's a great option to use. But I say if you have the choice between the hardware effects and the software effects, always go with the hardware effects because they just sound so much better. So that wraps it up. I just wanted to do a test of the new setup, the new layout, and the new environment, and want to see how well I can get things looking and sounding, and while at the same time dropping a little knowledge about the equipment. So if you've got a 72, if you got a pointer or a tip or something that I haven't discussed yet, or a question or something you want me to experiment with, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I will definitely pay attention and respond and do the best I can to answer your question. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment on the videos, and we'll be back real soon. Peace.